You know what's fucked up? African people don't like black people. I know they treat us like shit. They talk down to us. They think they're better than us. And I don't understand because we from the same tribe, kind of. But they like white people, though. They treat y'all like family. As soon as y'all come around, they get excited. Excuse me, Mr. White Man. Thank you for bringing us here. We love you. Yeah, the white man. As soon as they see us, they get an attitude. Hey, how you doing? This nigga. We don't like the black man in America. Motherfucker, you don't work, you don't do shit. We don't like you, you black motherfucker. Like, who are you calling black, motherfucker? I'm around, you midnight. Who the fuck are you calling black? Like, nigga, if you sit up against a building, you look like an alley. Who the fuck are you calling black? This shit is unjust.
All right, Shalawam. First and foremost, we want to start off by giving all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles, the elders of Great Millstone, the men that told me this truth. And peace and salutation, Barakatham, to all you sincere Akim that's laboring in this truth throughout the four corners of the earth. All right, and as you've seen, this is a comedian by the name of Aries Spears, and he's known for, making impersonations of rappers, such rappers such as Jay-Z, DMX, so on and so forth. But, and there's some truth to this, man. Him speaking on how the so-called African, when they come here to America, how they don't get along with the so-called blacks here in America because we're not the same. We're not the same people. This is something that Esau pushes and trying to convince our people into believing that we're Africans and, we were courted off in the cargo slave ships into slavery during the time of the transatlantic slave trade, and that we came from Africa, but that's not true, all right? We were dwelling in that region for a particular time period, and then that was it. Okay, and then our people have always traveled and stayed in such regions as Egypt and all over Africa, really, because when you look back during the time of when our Lord was on the scene, when he was a little boy, Joseph had a dream, and an angel was sent to him to warn Joseph that to take Yahushua and his mother Mary to Egypt to dwell there. So it's not a thing that we didn't never dwell there in that particular land, but we're not originally from there. All right, and this is something that Jake has to realize, man, that we're not these people. We are not so-called Africans. We have a closer relationship. We're more closer in kin to the so-called white men than to these Hamites. All right? Okay, just because, we might look sort of like the same, we're just two, as far as in when it two dark-skinned nations, but we're separate. That's all it is. And what Jake is fair to understand is that, we don't have anything to do with the so-called African. Okay? That's why when you hear stories of, Moses, our forefather Moses, Aaron, during the time of us being in captivity under the Egyptians, these were the same Egyptians that had us in captivity, man. These so-called Africans, man. Okay? And during the time of the Philistines coming against King David, Israel back then, those are the same Hamites that were coming up and warring against our people. So what would change today is the same way. It's the same concept, man, of how these Hamites, they hate your guts, man. All right? We're not the same. The Lord said He do it, make a difference between the Egyptians and Israel, man. Matter of fact, let me grab that first. All right, this is the book of Exodus, chapter 11, verse 7. But against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that ye may know how that the Lord Yahweh doeth put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel, man. Okay, there's a difference, man, and you could tell through our spirit, man. We're different than these people. All right. For one, if you want to look into a documentary on how these Hamites get down, check out the documentary Mondo Magic, man. And you show how these Hamites get down, and how they, they shower with cow's piss. All right, they put plates in their lips, in their ears. All right, they eat and drink blood. All right, they eat all type of abominable food. This is not our spirit, man. But here it is. Jake want to hold on to being called Africans, man. We're not Africans, all right? There's a difference between the spirit of a Hamite and the spirit of Jake, man. So the Lord definitely put a difference between us and these damn Hamites, all right? The only thing that we're similar in is dark skin, okay? Because even the Apostle Paul, he was mistaken for being an Egyptian, all right? Even though the Apostle Paul, he knew how to speak certain different languages, but he was mistaken for being Egyptian, because why? The Egyptians were dark skinned, all right? The ancient Egyptians are dark skinned, all right? But still, we're not the same. We're not as these people. All right? People saying that the homeland is Africa. Nah, that's not true as well. Okay? This is the book of Galatians, chapter 4, verse 26. And it says, "But Jerusalem, which is above, is free, which is the mother of us all." All right? So this is where Jerusalem is the motherland, all right? That's the true motherland, because that's where the Garden of Eden began, in the land of Israel, in that region, okay? Everybody's trying to flock to Africa as being, the beginning of civilization and how we came out of Africa. Nah, the point is that we're not Africans, all right? You Jakes need to stop with the whole African, thing, or movement, whatever you call it. Okay, you got these black unconscious people, talking about we need to go back to Africa, which people have been always saying that during the time of Marcus Garvey, whatever, just claiming that whole back to Africa, and show you that you Jakes are full of shit. Because when you get some money, you don't go to Africa, man, because that's not in our spirit. All right, not saying that you don't have Jake. That's among these so-called Africans. All right, because our people are scattered among the Gentiles. But as far as us claiming to be these people, that's not true. All right, when you think about the transatlantic slave trade, okay, these Africans, they had a part in your captivity, man, along with Ishmael and along with the so-called white man Esau. All right? So when you read Psalms, the 83rd chapter, all these nations are confederate against us, man. They're in league against us, man. All these nations, they know who we are, all right, as far as being the people of the Most High, man, and they're against us, man. So, what Ari Spears was saying about these so-called Africans, when they come over here and they look down on us, that's true. That's a true statement, man. So you Jakes need to wake up and get out of that whole, that we're brothers and these are my people from the motherland. These people don't give a damn about us, man. Okay? their whole thing is to, you know, oppress us like how they did during that time. You know, as long as they're over us, we're in this position. As long as we're in this position as being on the bottom, that's how they come up. You know, all right, that's how they come up, and they do and have their little, you know, stores and whatnot, and they oppress Jake, man. You know, along with all the rest of these other heathen nations, man. They lick the sores. Those are the dogs licking the sores of you know, our wounds, man. Okay, that's how they make, you know, they make their money, all right, by oppressing Jake, all right, and that's how it is, man. You know, so at the end of the day, we're not Africans, okay? Neither, you know, we don't have nothing to do with Africa, period, man. Like I said before, we was only in that region for a certain period of time because we had to flee from Roman persecution when our Lord was on the scene. Matter of fact, let me get that real quick. You know, because the Lord said, when you see armies compass about, all right, know that you know, to flee into the mountains, man. I believe it's in. Let me see. I believe it's in the book of John. John, or no, Luke. It's like Luke 21, and I believe it's at verse 20. All right, it says Luke chapter 21, verse 20. It says that when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, right? And let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter thereinto. So this was the Lord giving us a heads up. When you see, you know, the armies compass, the Roman armies compass Jerusalem, all right, you know, when that whole 66 AD into 70 AD and so on and so forth, when the Roman armies, they came to siege Jerusalem, the Lord told us to flee into the mountains, man, meaning to go into the interiors of Africa, or to go, you know, wherever outside of Jerusalem, man. To you know, you had some people went to Europe, further out to Europe, deeper into Asia Minor, and others went into the bulk of the Israelites, okay, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, they went to the interiors of Africa, which was the western region of Africa, and that's where we dwelt, okay, all the way until the time of the, you know, roughly around 1619, you know, until the transatlantic slave trade happened, you know. But yeah, that's the reason that we were in Africa, and our people claiming to be Africans, man. All right, but before then, we were the stock of Israel, man. All right, from the seed line of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's where our forefathers dwelt, in the land of Israel. All right. So with that, I'm gonna end it there. All praises due to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahshua. Till the next time, I say Shalawam.